blind, a sign of the giant. Out of sight, out of mind, the blind leading the blind leading the blind, a sign of the giant. Out of sight, out of mind, the blind leading the.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. It's that hour. It's that moment you've been waiting for. It's the value of wrestling. It's the weekly roundup, episode 65, here on your Sunday night, the first Sunday in December of 2024. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is December 1st. It is a new month, and we are counting down the days till the end of the year. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. How is everybody feeling?
It was fine until halftime, and I just
This is not a football podcast. It's a wrestling podcast. We don't need to see your tears unless you're an AEW fan, and then you can cry all the tears you want.
Lucky. But you know what? It's been a solid week. All we're doing right now is counting down to how busy our December's about to get, folks. So let's go.
It is going to be a busy time. That is for sure, ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward in this new year.
Bishop Torian, what is up, my dude?
We got a lot to talk about. We're going to get deep into this, and we're going to talk about first last night's Survivor Series, a big title change as Shinsuke Nakamura beats LA Knight, for the U.S. title. And
I was going to say I felt like it was the right move. I didn't see nothing wrong with it unless other people say otherwise. You know, we talked about it last night. A lot of us still kind of felt like LA Knight was a little stagnant. You know, the proper way to, bring Nakamura back. I like Nakamura's gimmick right now.
A big part of why Nakamura Are we going to stabilize out? Okay, one big part is Nakamura's U.S. title was a push for him, as he will also be heading back to Noah when Nakamura will face Uka Sasaki on Noah 1-1 show from Budokan Hall. This match is set to be a key feature of Noah's New Year event, with the main event featuring Kaito Kiyomiya defending the GH title against Ozawa. And if I don't pronounce those names right, well, hey, I'm not familiar. But part of the decision to dethrone the 119-day reign of LA Knight was to showcase Nakamura's status ahead of his high-profile match in Noah. He'll be taking the title, it looks like, to Noah and defending it possibly there in some form or fashion. Could be very interesting to see. But that seems to be a big part of the new character to draw interest and to help promote Nakamura in the big match he's going to have at the Noah New Year's show.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, Nakamura's been at Noah roughly a good handful of times last time I checked. I'm checking you were saying the New Year's event that they're doing.
Uh-huh.
Uka Sasaki. Okay, that should be a solid match. I mean, I mean, with Shinsuke going to Noah as much as he has been, I mean, I've got nothing wrong with that. He's been the partnership that Noah and WWE has been having has been a solid relationship. I feel like it has a better solid working order than other brands destroying a staple in Japanese wrestling organizations. But that's my own opinion.
No, it should be interesting to see. Nakamura is your new United States champion, beating LA Knight, coming out with this great gimmick. They're trying to push and get Nakamura on a path to being something special. He's been doing a lot of action in Noah, and now going to be at this big Noah event coming up on the first of the year. As the Intercontinental Champion, I think it adds an extra little layer to it all. Should be something special to see. Mr. Z, I have an old friend of yours I got dug up. They got the call at the convention to help out. Yes, according to Fightful Select, Riddle wasn't initially a part of the plan, but stepped in at the last minute due to unforeseen circumstances. So, yes, Matt Riddle made his TNA debut at this past event when TNA, to join the TNA World Tag Team Champions of the Hardys and ABC's Ace Austin in a match against Wentz, Kushida, and their makeshift tag team. This makes his return to pro wrestling drew a strong live reaction. A fact that TNA officials are quite happy with Matt Riddle making his presence felt at the recent TNA event, which at one point I had the name here thing. Riddle was at a convention, and it was just before that they picked him and decided that it would be Riddle to do this. He was a last-minute debut at Turning Point. And it's very evident that TNA and Matt Riddle have come to some type of agreement. We're going to see Riddle return to action with TNA here in the near future. Guess who's back? Yes, Matt Riddle's back.
Yeah, I just seen that say Ace Austin and the Hardys against defeating Kushida, Matt Riddle, and Zachary Wentz. Yeah, I didn't hear much coming out of my friend that went to this. Normally, he'd give me updated on what was going on, but I don't. Who really wants to see Matt Riddle at this point? Honestly,
some people do, some people don't. He was recently at an event here in California, so I mean, you never know when you're going to run into the Riddle. Brad Bailey.
Year at I was going to say this year at real quick. This year at the New Japan show that I took my kids to, he teamed up with Jeff Cobb. So I mean, it is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving along. Brad Baylor's been WWE ID, and he made his debut footage, and it raised a lot of eyebrows. As in his vignette, he was seen making out with a girl, getting called by his mom to come down stage, had a confrontation, not necessarily a yelling confrontation, but a confrontation with his mother, asked her if she had made his protein shake because he was late to his first day of training of wrestling school. She said she was too busy making his meal preps. He knocked him off the table and said somebody needs to clean those up, and then he showed up late to what looked like Paul Roma's training school. Brad Baylor, I don't know. It's looking like, yeah, you're late. He showed up in khakis. People are not real happy. He did make fun of another wrestler when he was told to go in and shake hands with the wrestlers. He asked one of the guys he walked up to, "You wrestle here?" And he said, "Yeah." And then Baylor told this wrestler, "It's not going to take me long to get to WWE." So a lot of people are taking offense to these, and at least with Brad Baylor's debut footage here with this WWE ID. But if it's character building that they're looking for, and with these WWE ID vignettes, they're trying to get this young talent to display their characters. And if this is the type of character Brad Baylor is expected to be or wants to be, then I guess we have to take it from the perspective that his is the character I don't know all the details of WWID in that standpoint. We know some names that have been there, and we've associated and talked with one name, Jack Summit, the cartwheel.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't, we've talked to him, nothing about WWID, just to make that clear, but we know Jack Summit. We've had conversations with him. We've had a couple interviews. He joined the Choppy Choppy. So we know his side, and he recently put out his first video for WWID talking about almost missing his first day of training school. So we know these vignettes are going to come out for each and every one of these wrestlers under WWID. Now, the idea, like Triple H said, was to see these people, and WWE is kind of giving them a direction. So a lot of eyebrows may be raised, but if this is Brad Baylor's gimmick, or this is his character, this is the role he's trying to portray or be, then, I mean, you have to take it from that perspective. You may not like the vignette if you thought this was him being real, but I don't, I think this is, these WID ID vignettes are supposed to showcase the talent, showcase their what they can do. And so I think a lot of this was in, was a work, was in gimmick, was in character, whatever the word you want to throw in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Brad Baylor deserves a lot of the heat for the portrayal of the character he was trying to present. I don't know what people are thinking with this WWID. When you have WWE Neil, which is working with college professional athletes and transferring them into wrestling stars, it's one thing. But when you have guys like a Brad Baylor, a Jack Summit, and many other names that have been listed and talked about, these are all guys that have been on the independent scenes that already have some developmental work that WWE is working with. So they already have some type of character base, like Jack Summit, the cartwheel. That was kind of his gimmick. His cartwheel gimmick is his story in a way. So Brad Baylor may not really be, we can't watch these videos and go, oh, this is the real person and they really act like this. I think you have to understand, again, it's for WWID, and they've got to present some type of videos that go to WWE, and they look over it and they're telling these guys what they want, what they need to do. And so, again, I know a lot of people are raising eyebrows over the Brad Baylor vignette, but if we're looking at this through the perspective of it being a wrestling, being WWID, and that this is supposed to be a representation of his first day in training, this is the character he is also portraying, then you have to understand it from that perspective. But it's a lot of people upset. I watched the video. I seen where people could think if this is him as a person, this is the way he is. It's one thing, but if you look at it as the aspect that this is, this is a vignette from WWE. This is a kind of like a promo, and Brad Baylor's introducing a character. And again, he probably did a really good job because he's already getting people to talk about and already getting heat by creating a small 1-minute video. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you got to give him credit there if he's already getting enough people talking about him that we're even talking about him right here, beyond the fact that he's WWID, that he's created something, some type of content that's got people upset.
Mm-hmm. You hit the nail right on the head. I mean, WWE ID system, that is that is the new way of training. That is a new way of being able to have the know-how. You give them your video, they give you the feedback. If they like it, they'll tell you, this is what we want you to keep doing. This is how we want you to work on it. If it's something else, a lot of give and take. You want to talk about someone living a gimmick like that? If that is the case, and it really got over because people are talking, take MJF for example. I mean, look what he does when he's at meet and greets. He's in gimmick 24/7. That is a man that protects his.
Yes.
And no one complains about that. No one complained about him throwing some little kid's belt halfway across the convention floor.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's just we all know that's MJF.
But you get what I'm saying.
No,
like,
I don't.
You get what I'm saying. Like, but live the gimmick. I mean, very few wrestlers do that anymore. And I mean, if you're going to the WWE and you're trying to present something to them, show them, hey, look, this is what I have. Can we roll with this? You won't know until you find out.
And again, we have talked with Jack Summit, but we don't have any inside scoops or any details any more than what is out there about the WWE ID. We know what Triple H said the other night at Survivor Series. This is the independent wrestling. There's a lot of people who didn't go through college or went to college and now got into wrestling. These are people who already got into the business for whatever reason, whatever their path was a little different than being a college athlete or a pro athlete switching from another sport. So the WWE created WWID, and that's the main preference is they are going to find talent within the independent market of wrestling, and they are going to sign them to a deal, and they are going to work with them. And it's like Triple H says, we work with them on what they do. They will send us videos. We will critique it. They are going to record vignettes, as we've seen and starting to see. They're also going to record their wrestling matches so WWE can watch that. And so what this is these independent wrestlers are going to go around and wrestle like they normally do, but they are going to record some of these at certain times and do things for WWE so WWE can see what they're doing, see if they're progressing, and WWE can give their feedback. So it looks like the first big project for all these WWE ID folks so far is that first day of training. It's what Jack Summit put out, how he almost missed his first day of training. This is Brad Baylor's first day of training. So there's something like they want these people to introduce from like almost a beginning standpoint, give a little background. And so Brad Baylor is going to play his gimmick, which is probably the right thing. And it's probably what WWE said. We want you to be in gimmick in some form or another than just yourself explaining your first day of training. But again, like the big man said, and like I said, if Brad Baylor's getting heat like this, he's already getting it over.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's already making waves. People are talking about him. And let's call a spade here. WWE loves it when people talk about superstars. And if this man's already making waves just by one promo, I can't wait to see where this man goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a wait and see, but I think he's getting a lot of heat for all the wrong reasons. I think he's doing what he needs to do, and people need to remember this is wrestling. Even if they're WWID guys, just because they're not on the main stage, they're just signed, but they're already wrestling. They're already sort of doing this. They're already experienced and already kind of established themselves, at least in the local area that they're well known for. And this man's already caught WWE's attention by getting this contract agreement, and now he's going to get a bigger stage to put himself out there for, and it's going to be interesting to see what a lot of these stars are. And of course, we focus and we stay very focused to WWID because we have, we've met with Jack Summit, we've talked to Jack Summit, the Cartwheel Kid, the Cartwheel Jack Summit. So we're watching because we have a good, we have an ally, we have a friend, we have a buddy who is doing this, and we also fully believe that we see several other names that are in front of us at independent shows that we go to that should already be close, if not at the door or at the cusp for these WWIDs. I mean, we support the Dark Fox Illumide for a WWID. It may be only a matter of time before we see that happen because there's a lot of talent in that young man. And the future is looking bright. So we stay very close to WWID, probably a lot closer than what we would do with Neil, because we also like to talk about independent wrestling. And I think this channel is going to take more of a switch where we're going to introduce more independent wrestling content than ever before when we get into the new year. So, yes, we're probably going to talk a lot about WWID.
Yeah, folks. I mean, when we started this, it was your standard wrestling podcast, and then all it took was a simple meet and hello, how you doing? Can we be at your show? And after Lemonade, that was it. SPW's Lemonade, and we were off to the races.
And growing. Ladies and gentlemen, last night we had Survivor Series, and in a jaw-dropping moment, Bronson Reed, the big man, climbed all the way up to the top of that that monster of a cage, the classic War Games cage, 2 rings surrounded, this massive beast of metal, and he climbed up to the top area of the corner and jumped off, trying to hit a tsunami on the down Roman Reigns, who was laid out on a table. But moments before he hit Roman, CM Punk jumped up and ripped Roman off the table, saving Roman from a disastrous tsunami. But Bronson Reed came crashing down from that height and through a table. He was assisted to the back, even Triple H stating that there was some injury and that Bronson Reed will be out of action for some time, hopefully not a long time. But Reed took to Twitter tonight and said injuries are temporary, moments are forever. So we know that he'll be back. The move resulted in injury to one or both of Reed's ankles, it seems, is the report coming out of Fightful. He needed assistance to the back. Triple H had addressed during the post-media scrum, describing the move as dangerous while commending Reed's efforts. He also confirmed that Reed will be out for several weeks. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the Royal Rumble, but we'll have to wait and see. But Bronson Reed, the big man, taking a huge bump at War Games, and maybe on the shelf for a little bit. Hopefully it's nothing too in-depth. Hopefully he can recover quickly, take some time, and get back.
Well, yeah, I mean, coming from a big man myself, I mean, let's call it what it is. Foot and ankle injuries to a big fella is not nice, and it's rough. Hopefully it's not as bad as what it looked like, because I've seen more replays of it and it looked pretty bad. I'm hoping it's just a lightweight sprain. He'll be all right. Give it a few weeks, set it up, and hopefully see him back at Rumble. But yeah, that was rough. That's a rough. Yeah, that's a lot of man to come jumping off the top of a steel cage.
And of course, in that bloodline versus the new bloodline versus the OG bloodline, there's many dangerous spots, a lot of high spots in these moments. One of those spots was Jacob Fatu, where he looked like he had hurt himself. And following his injury concerns, Jacob Fatu's health status has been revealed. Jacob Fatu's decision to act like he hurt his leg during the match wasn't planned, even though he landed awkwardly trying to moonsault on the CM Punk. Fatu wasn't actually injured. He decided on the spot to make it look like his leg was hurt. Fatu had been performing well for the last several weeks. The move before, and he started to favor his leg during that match. Thankfully, it was all part of the match. He did land a little awkwardly, and then he wound up taking a 1D and then got the big splash from Jimmy that put him through the table to put him out for the rest of the match. But Jacob Fatu did not suffer any leg injury or any serious injury, so he was playing it up for the performance, the show, and thank God he's not hurt, because that would have been another huge loss to a big momentum story, because there's people that are predicting that something will have to change. The guard may have to change. We may see an even newer tribal chief come out of the ashes, because the storyline has been put out there that a loss is unacceptable. And if you remember, Roman lost at WrestleMania, and Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso lost. He took out Jimmy Uso and then took the throne after he asked, you can't lose, and the Paul Heyman segment, and that grew. So what has happened now that Solo took the pin in the leadership of this thing? There's a lot of people thinking that Jacob Fatu may take over the reins as the new tribal chief, pushing Solo Sikoa out. I guess we also have to sit down and ask Paul Heyman, what inning are we in now with the Bloodline storyline? It looked like we were in the 9th inning at WrestleMania 40, and then we backed up and we were told we were barely in the 4th inning, and maybe only getting to the 5th inning by Survivor Series. There's also a lot of rumors that Jacob Fatu will take out Solo Sikoa, only for the biggest tribal chief to arrive. Maybe the high chief will arrive at SmackDown and take his proper throne to set everything in motion and be the new leader of the Bloodline and start his feud with Roman Reigns. Ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as we know, is done with his Moana. Everything with Moana is done. I should say, is done. He's over. He put out an announcement. It looks like he may be ready to return and start his storyline. Of course, there's also a lot of rumors that The Rock may show up on December 14th. Yeah, that's Saturday night when Saturday Night Main Event returns to WWE, to TV, and to the Nassau Coliseum. Did The Rock show up there to start his feud with Cody Rhodes? Will The Rock show up and start a feud with Roman Reigns? Will there be a multi-feud? It's going to get interesting as all these stories progress.
Long-term storytelling, folks. Enough said. I mean, we're getting into WrestleMania season. Royal Rumble's right around the corner. If anything, Saturday night's main event, that is going to be a must-see situation because everything that happens from here on out, roads lead to WrestleMania.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch up directions. We're going to talk about free agency as Penta El Zero Mino has been announced as a free agent. He will not be joined by Ray Phoenix. He will be staying with the company. He'll be staying with AEW as Tony Khan extends his contract out due to injury time. What many people are calling the new Tony McMahon, as he pulls these stunts to keep wrestlers under contract, under agreement. Reports started that Penta and Ray Phoenix were going to go to WWE sometime in August of this year. And then the reports came out that Penta was able to leave, but Phoenix would not be allowed to leave because of injury extension rumors. We don't know whether Penta has a no-compete clause or if he was, his contract came to an end or if he was released, or all the details. We just know that Penta is a free agent. There's a high expectation through many sources that we will see him on the independent scene momentarily until something can be worked out between Penta, WWE, and will WWE wait until Ray Phoenix is available to sign both of them? That was a big push by Penta. Penta wanted to go to WWE. WWE was very interested in Penta, but Penta was wanting his brother to join him. So we're going to have to wait and see how this all comes together in the future. But I'm sure there'll be several independent companies that'll be happy to have Al Penta's Zero Mito on the card as we go forward. Maybe Mr. Z will have to run into El Penta Zero Mito and get a choppy from the Lucha Master himself.
You see me, I'm sitting here going, please, because there's only one place I think he should show up. And I mean, there is the biggest show of the year coming up. That would be a good place for him to show up.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he'll make it to that time. I don't know what the status of Ray Phoenix contract is, and I don't know when WWE will decide to bring him in. If they'll bring him in sooner than later, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But it is official that El Penta Zero Mito is a free agent. So you never know.
No, I'm all for it. I mean, like I said, if he's going to hit some indie dates, Penta, we have an idea of where you could come if certain individuals are keeping tabs on that one. But other than that, him and WWE, I mean, if they could just let him do him like they've let Andrade and everyone else have been, Triple H is known for letting them do themselves. They'll be just fine. They'll be just fine.
No, it'll be good to see what happens with him. We'll see if he has some indie dates. There's a lot of great shows out here on the West Coast that are going down that you never know where somebody like that might show up as we progress forward. And, of course, the Choppy Hall of Fame is looking to induct new members all the time, whether it be an El Penta Zero Mito or a Dark Fox Illumide or a Big Ugly JD Bishop. I mean, we can name names. Maybe a Titus Alexander, maybe a Journey Fatu, maybe a Jacob Fatu, maybe a Jeff Cobb, maybe a Timothy Thatcher, maybe a JR Kratos.
Yeah,
I mean, we could throw a list that could keep growing and growing.
I should be afraid. I should be like Tony Khan, afraid for my life at this point with the amount of names that are out that we've thrown out there. And I've put foot in mouth. This is
Hey, hey,
is where the brand of AC toes have come into play.
I think there's a great match where we should use you as a chopping dummy. I hear at Ugly Dojo they're going to have one hell of a match in a triple threat match when El Chupacabra, the Dart Fox Illumine, and the Big Hoss, Frosty himself, Drake Frost, are going to try it up in a triple threat match. Yeah, I think that's a match that maybe you should be the chopping dummy in there. Maybe you need to be the ref for that match and just get chopped around. I mean, you've already been chopped by El Chupacabra. We just need to get you chopped by maybe. We need to ask Frosty himself. Maybe Frosty wants to step up and.
No. But let's get this straight here. All we need is me in the ring with Frosty, someone close to my size, and all we see is Big Time over there off with a sign that says meat. I mean, that's not. And we don't need this.
And Mr. Z will be done. Mr. Z will be done because the meat channel happened, and he'll crack up, and I'll be like, "Yep, he likes the meat slapping. He likes the beatings of meats. He likes when meat gets slapped and slappy meats." Big meanie meat.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we've got all these incredible shows coming up: Ugly Dojo, SPW's, Hostile Holidays, Lucha Santa at the beginning of the month, next weekend.
Next Sunday. Yes, next Sunday, December 8th, Roseville, California, Barrios Toys. Lucha Santa will be the next name that at least step up and put his name into the Choppy. Lucha Santa promising to chop you so hard he's going to send you in to the next weekend. He says he's going to knock you forward. He's going to knock you almost into Christmas. And of course, from what I understand, Lucha Santa is going to be at several different events throughout the holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be definitely checking that naughty nice list at multiple promotions.
So he could chop you from.
Everyone's been nice.
He could chop you from December 8th, next Sunday. He could chop you all the way from Roseville to Elk Grove for Hostile Holiday, SPW's big show, which he will also be at. So he could chop you from there into next Sunday. And then he's also going to be at Ugly Dojo. So he might chop you again at SPW to send you all the way to the Ugly Dojo show where he could chop you again. Talk about getting chopped around the world. Instead of a tour of the island, you're going to get a choppy holiday tour.
You know what? So it's the gift that keeps on giving. Is the choppy Hall of Fame.
Yes. No, it's going to be a fun time. Of course, next Sunday, December the 8th, Roseville, California. The boys are going to be there supporting Lucha Santa when he shows up at Mario's Choice in Roseville, California. Look under West Coast Designs on Instagram and Collectible Stampede on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else for more details and information. We've been sharing that content out. Come on out to Roseville, California. Get a picture with Lucha Santa. Let the kids get a free gift. It's going to be a fun time on December 8th. That is 1 to 3 p.m. at Barrios Toys. It's not a big window, but it'll be a good window. And then if you don't catch Lucha Santa there, SPW, PCW, and the Ugly Dojo are all other events that Lucha Santa is talking about being at. And as far as the PCW event, as I understand, there may be a chance that we see Lucha Santa get into a ring. I don't know. Rumors and speculation are happening. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out.
There we go.
Anyways, tomorrow is Monday. The world keeps turning. Of course, we will not be here with your Monday Night Raw review, but we will be doing that on Tuesday. Speaking of Monday Night Raw, it has been revealed that the opening segment for tomorrow night's show, as Adam Pearce is taking to Twitter, Tomorrow night's show is going to be at the Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett, Washington. Now, a little inside scoop, there's going to be somebody on that episode that me and the big man know. So we're going to have to keep our eyes posted to see if we see a friend, a buddy, an ally of the channel on Monday Night Raw. If you see who we're talking about, maybe you come on Tuesday, jump in the chat and tell us, yes, we know who you're talking about. But I'm not going to give the cat and the caboodle away. We'll talk about that when we do the review show. But it has been announced that CM Punk will officially kick off the broadcast to help set the tone for an unforgettable show. We will also see the first triple threat match of Dakota Kai, Katana Chance, and Shayna Baszler to kick off the Women's Intercontinental Tournament. It should be a fun time. And Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are going to tag up to take on Damage Control. Just a little bit of the flavor, a little bit of the taste. We also know that R-Truth is going to tie it up with Pete Dunne. Don't call him Butch. And the biggest storyline in WWE may finally come to a crashing halt. Big E is supposedly making his return to Monday Night Raw as the New Day celebrate their 10 years as a group. But we know that recently Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston have grown with some friction. So we're going to have to see how that all plays out tomorrow night. And, of course, we'll be here Tuesday to break it all down for you right here with your Raw review on Tuesday evening. We'll be here live going over all the pretty details there. Wednesdays, the New Japan Rebound podcast will be on the air. And Mr. Z, what do you have to tell them about and why should they be watching the New Japan Rebound podcast on Wednesday?
We got 5 more nights of World Tag League, and I mean, what started out as a landslide of only undefeated teams going into the last few nights of World Tag League, this all changed up. I mean, right out of the gate, I'll tell you right now, Jeff Cobb and Callum Newman from United Empire at the top of the list. Who would have seen them in and blocked their counterparts, members of United Empire, Great Khan and Hanare, on top of Block B's list. We got 3 or 4 more nights left of World Tag League. Could this be a United Empire sweep? And which team is going to Wrestle Kingdom? You're going to have to find out on Wednesday.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the New Japan Rebound podcast will be taking place on Wednesday. It should be very interesting to see all those updates. Injuries seem to be changing up the card every once in a while, but it's very interesting to see who's going to come out on top of that. And, of course, if you're looking for other things to talk about, yes, AEW is also doing their Continental Classic. Right now, Claudio Castagnoli and Brody King with a 3 points each lead in the Gold League. Ricochet and Darby Allin taking losses in their first matches for the Gold League. Will Ospreay and Juice Robinson haven't had a match yet, but we'll be updating there. The Blue League, we've only seen Shelton Benjamin and Mark Briscoe. And, of course, the Okada-Kyle Fletcher match. Shelton Benjamin with 3 points with the win over Mark Briscoe. And Kazuchika Okada and Kyle Fletcher both with 1 point as they went to a 20-minute time limit draw. So the Continental Classic may be something that a lot of people are interested in. I don't know. I think if you got the World Tag League going on in New Japan, a lot more people are paying attention to that than what is going over here, especially when you hear about Kazuchika Okada and Kyle Fletcher going to a 20-minute time limit draw. I don't know if Kyle I don't know what to even say.
And Okada is your current Continental Crown champion.
Who I don't even know is what he defended.
Going in there and wiping.
I swear he's only defended that title once.
It's sad. One time.
Since he won it.
One time. And folks, before you harp on us that we do nothing but bash and jump on AEW, trust us, folks. We just want it to succeed. And right now, they're not doing anything to keep us interested or succeeding when you make talent look so weak. It's
Okay.
sad. It breaks my heart.
Here's a good update. Brody King, who I believe fought Darby Allin, got a clean win over Darby Allin to get 3 points. Claudio Castagnoli faced Ricochet, who's supposed to be AEW's hottest, newest, greatest talent. Claudio Castagnoli beating Ricochet to get 3 points. And then Will Ospreay getting a win over Juice Robinson. So in the Gold League, Brody King, Claudio Castagnoli, and Will Ospreay all have 3 points, while Darby Allin, Juice Robinson, and Ricochet all come up short. The Blue League, though, we do have. Okay, I take that back. I got to go back a little bit here. Okay. In the Blue League, Kyle Fletcher getting a clean pin over the Beast Mortis. Shelton Benjamin getting a clean pin over Mark Briscoe. Daniel Garcia and Kazuchika Okada. Excuse me for the misstep in communication. Daniel Garcia and Kazuchika Okada went to a 20-minute time limit draw and both got 1 point. Beast Mortis and Mark Briscoe winding up on the losing end of all that. It looks like Mark Briscoe may be another joke along with the Beast Mortos. And Juice Robinson, I would say these guys may get one win, if any wins at all in this tournament. I'm hoping to let Ricochet win here at some point. But, yeah, that's where we're at right now. Kazuchika Okada at 1 point, while Kyle Fletcher.
Don't say anything negative about
What?
Yeah, but I was gonna say, don't say anything negative about Ricochet because he might hear you and talk bad about you on X. Just saying, don't.
Ricochet lost to Claudio. Ricochet lost to Claudio Castagnoli. He's already down, one match. He's already lost. He's supposed to be the new big star for AEW, and they're already having him lose to Claudio Castagnoli. For what reason? I don't know. Hopefully, the story will make sense when the time is right. But that is your current standings for that program.
I'm sorry. World Tag League is more intense right now. There's a lot of things could happen between now and the middle of this month. Wrestle Kingdom is what? A month away?
Well, and you have Wrestle Dynasty the night before, and then you have the second night of Wrestle Kingdom. Back-to-back nights in the beginning of January, but it should be very interesting. We will have to see how it all comes down. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm more prone to seeing what's going to happen with Omega's return. How is that going to play out? That is like one of the big key things going into WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom weekend. Is Omega's return to Japan.
Yeah, Kenny Omega making a big return. Going up against Gabe Kidd. That should be a great, solid match, but still leaving a lot of people wondering why Omega has chosen to go to New Japan and not make his return in this Continental Classic tournament. Where does he stand with everything going down in AEW? His words are, AEW doesn't need me. So it's an interesting story we see there. And, of course, the Young Bucks looking like they're going to get a title match at Dynasty. And there come the tears of the big man as he hears the Tampon Bucks getting a match at New Japan Tag Title Gold.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, they need to stay in AEW and out of everybody else's way.
You know they won't. They're trying to stay relevant because no one cares about them anymore.
Well,
unless you're a diehard AEW fan.
It is what it is. What it is.
I've taken to X and told certain individuals, please do not speak ill of AEW. They will call for your head.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally December, and it's going to be interesting as we roll along. Of course, next Sunday, December the 8th, Roseville, California, Barrios Toys. Lucha Santa is going to be there. The Value Wrestling will be there doing all the promoting and having fun. Then on December 14th in Yuba City, PCW is going to have a major event. I will be there with Lucha Santa to have a fun time. And then I'm trying not to sneeze. Give me 1 second.
The 15th?
Yeah, Sunday the
15th.
15th, SPW Hostile Holiday will take off. And ladies and gentlemen, the first match has been announced for SPW Hostile Holiday. As we're going to see one of possibly two return matches, one officially announced, the other one we're waiting to hear about. But in a return match from SPW Still Hungry last month, the Dark Fox illuminated SPW Heavyweight Champion, the undefeated Heavyweight Champion, the undisputed Heavyweight Champion of SPW. Will be putting that belt on the line in a rematch with the Metal Mechanic Bobby Callahan. Will Illuminate be able to overcome a second chance? Bobby Callahan so close. I mean, fingertips away from taking that title from this man who's reigned over 400 days with the title. Will it be finally the chance for Bobby Callahan to obtain the SPW heavyweight title? I believe this would be his second chance at holding that gold. I believe he held it once before. I'd have to research the records to be 100% certain, but we'll definitely have to look into that. But Bobby Callahan, the Metal Mechanic, Bobby Callahan, is going to challenge one more time in a rematch because a lot of people are going to say he was robbed at Still Hungry. That Illuminate took the easy way out of that, and that Bobby Callahan is a deserving competitor and deserves this rematch, deserves a fair shot. How will this match be set up? What will it be? Right now, it looks like a simple match, but I mean, you really have to wonder if it's a straight-up one-on-one match. Is it really going to be the match we need, or are they going to have to put some stipulations around this match when Bobby Callahan, the Metal Mechanic, takes on Illuminate for the SPW Championship one more time? All taking place at Hostile Holiday on Sunday, December 15th at the Soccer World Indoor Arena in Elk Grove, California.
Yeah, no, that is a heavy match. That's going to be a very intense match, almost a grudge match. And like you said before, is and will there be a stipulation to this one? Obviously, Bobby Callahan coming up short by some say hokey means. We'll have to find out. And double checking the records, he has yet to hold the SPW heavyweight title.
Okay.
This would be his first reign if he can dethrone the Dark Fox.
And the Dark Fox gone through some of the biggest names in the company and around the independent scene, and even some bigger name stars over his title reign. So, I mean, anything could be very well possible. Anything could happen. And we know that when we watched the match last month, Bobby Callahan came near close to dethroning the Dark Fox.
Yeah. He has had a hell of a run. Just keep it going at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at December 21st for Ugly Dojo event in Vacaville. We already know that Surza is going to take on Jason Xavier for the heavyweight championship. And several other matches were announced. I'm just trying to find those matches again.
Yeah.
But some great matches coming out of there. We can't wait to see all of those matches. I believe I believe Bobby Callahan will be at that Ugly Dojo for a match. I do recall that I believe I saw the Dark Fox Illuminate taking on Chupacabra, taking on Drake Frost at the Ugly Dojo event. I wish I could remember.
We got one match lined up. The Metal Mechanic against the final chapter, Bishop Dorian.
That's right.
One of the matches lined up for this.
Bishop Dorian, who was in the chat with us earlier, will be taking on the Metal Mechanic in a one-on-one match. That's right. And then we have El Chupacabra taking on Drake Frost and the Dark Fox Illuminate in a triple threat match for this big show coming up on the 21st. There we go.
Same. This is going to be a great show, folks. December is hot and heavy of independent professional wrestling. If you are in the area or near it, take that drive, folks. Enjoy the day. a nice outing with the family. Take them to a wrestling show where you can get close to your favorite wrestlers, get to know these folks, and then call it a night. It's going to be a hell of a time.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great time. We got a lot of great things coming up. Come out and visit us on next Sunday, December the 8th in Roseville, California for the Lucha Santa event. Then come join us. You can join me. I'll be hanging out with Lucha Santa on December 14th at PCW show in Yuba City. That should be another great time. And then join us on Sunday, December 15th for SPW Hostile Holiday. It's going down. You definitely want to be there for that one, too. And then, of course, on December 21st at the Three Oaks Community Center in Vacaville, California, Ugly Dojo Wrestling returns. And we've already given you those big matches. Sherza and Jason Xavier for the Heavyweight Championship. Illumide, the Dark Fox, El Chupacabra, and the King of Haas Island, Drake Frost, in a triple threat match. And then, of course, the final chapter, Bishop Dorian taking on the Metal Mechanic, Bobby Callahan. Some great matches. Lucha Santa is going to be at all these events this season. So come out, join your boys, have some fun. It should be a great time in the old town tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait. But we'll just enjoy the weekend off because this is the last weekend we get off for at least a couple of weeks.
Oh, no. I mean, what weekend? The weekend's over, buddy. It's the start of a new week. We got Monday, which is going to be a fun time. And then we got next Saturday, which is the only real day off we're going to have because Sunday it's Roseville, and then it's back to work. And it's going to be a busy, busy week as we go into next Saturday, the 14th, the Sunday, the 15th, which is going to be a huge, huge event and a big, big deal. And then we're going to go back into the next Saturday. It's going to be all over the place. And then we get to quiet down until the end of the year. And then the beginning of the year starts and it's back off going. As we know, we're pushing the doors open to a lot of events coming up in January. And, of course, Stockton Con is starting to make a sound. The rumbles are starting to come up. Names are starting to be said. Haven't heard any wrestling names come out of it yet. But we are watching closely what's going to happen when Stockton Con Winter 2025 takes place on February 15th and 16th in Stockton, California.
Oh, yeah. We can't wait for that. That'll be fun. Can it be a Stockton Con where I don't get chopped? We'll find out. We'll have to find out.
I'm finding somebody to chop you at Stockton Con. So you just have to.
What did I do to you? What did I?
Because you just sat here and asked if you could be a Stockton Con where you don't get chopped. So, I mean, you keep putting it out there, and you know by now I'm just going to be like, okay, you don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen just so you can't say that you skated by.
Ah, jeez.
Look, if you're not careful, you're going to get lit up by Lucha Santa supposedly on December 8th. We can find somebody for December 15th. And then at Ugly Dojo, I mean, why not start off with Ugly Dojo, our first event with them, getting somebody to sign into the Choppy Hall of Fame. I mean, I think it should be the one and only Big Ugly himself. I think, J.D. Bishop at his first show where we're there should step up and give you the chop. I mean, this could be a holiday chopping season. We'll see who's going to knock down the big redwood or the cacti or the whatever. What kind of trees do they have in Mexico where the super heavyweight luchador Senor C come from?
Chop down the tequila plant. Is that what
there you go? Do? The agave plant. Isn't that what it is? It's an agave.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here. We're going to say goodnight. We got to get ready for tomorrow. It's going to be a busy day, a busy week, lots of things going on, and we can't wait to see you in the future. So, for now, it's adios, goodbye, so long, see you later, sayonara, adios. And for Mr. Z, Senor Z, the super heavyweight luchador, it's ole!
Ole!